they never really left. Virgo, not in the way that brings closure, not in the way that lets you breathe again. And now, as you try to rebuild piece by piece, a strange pull returns in your chest, in the silence between thoughts, in the dreams that feel more like omens than memories. Because this isn't nostalgia, it's a signal, and what's coming back isn't an apology. It's a truth so heavy it doesn't knock, it detonates. You see, Virgo, you've been walking through life with a kind of invisible excellence. You show up, you care deeply, you try your hardest to do the right thing even when nobody notices. And for a long time, it felt like that care, your effort, your love just went into a void, like you were sending energy into the world and getting silence back. That silence, it wasn't rejection, it was observation. Someone has been paying attention, quietly, deeply, and now the moment is approaching when their silence breaks. Quick question, Virgo, what time is it where you are right now? Drop the exact time in the comments. Because trust me, the moment you're watching this isn't random. Not even a little. You've carried the weight of self-doubt longer than most would survive. You overthink. You replay conversations. You wonder if maybe being careful, being kind, being asterisk you asterisk is somehow not enough. But here's the truth, that internal dialogue, that perfectionism, that constant drive to refine and improve, it's not weakness. It's your weapon. And someone has finally seen it. Not just your productivity or your organization, but the fierce heart you hide behind all that logic. What's coming isn't small. It's not just recognition. It's revelation. And it starts with someone stepping out from the shadows to tell you, I've seen you. I've always seen you. And I can't stay silent anymore. Let me be clear, this energy isn't just random. It's cosmic. It's intentional. Every quiet battle you fought, every time you chose dignity over drama, every time you stayed up late wondering if you're doing life wrong, those weren't wasted moments. They were data points, proof of your resilience, evidence of your heart. And now, the universe is bringing someone into your life who sees all of it. Not the mask, not the curated version, the real you. And that kind of recognition, that's what starts wildfires of change. Because here's the truth, Virgo. You've never needed the spotlight. You've never chased attention. What you wanted was to matter. And in the silence of all your quiet efforts, something extraordinary was happening. You were being studied, not ignored. Someone out there has seen your discipline, your care, your sacrifice. They've watched you do things the right way, even when the world rewarded shortcuts. And that kind of integrity, it leaves a mark. So as this moment builds and the energy around you grows heavier and more electric, remember this, you are not waiting for something to begin. It's already begun. The shift is in motion. Your life, your purpose, your path, it's aligning with something and someone who finally sees you not as too much or too intense, but as necessary, as irreplaceable. And when that recognition arrives, and it won't just be a compliment, it will be a spark, the beginning of everything finally making sense. Someone has been watching you, Virgo, not in a creepy way, but in that quiet, intense way that only someone who truly sees you could. They're not watching for entertainment. They're watching because they feel connected to your energy, to your choices, to the way you carry yourself even when no one else is paying attention. And that connection, it's not random. It's rooted in something real. Maybe it's someone from your past, someone who never really let go. Or maybe it's someone who's been silently, they've seen your patterns, the way you hold it together when everything's falling apart, the way you show up for people who never show up for you. That resilience, it hit them in a way you'll probably never fully understand. Because while you were trying to keep moving, keep working, keep healing, they were watching and feeling something shift inside them. This person didn't choose to stay silent because they didn't care. They stayed silent because they didn't know how to approach someone as strong and grounded as you. You've become intimidating not because you're aggressive, but because you're self-aware. You've done the work, and that makes people look at themselves in ways they're not ready for. But now, the silence is cracking. The energy is shifting. They can't hide much longer. Something is pulling them toward you, and fast. Maybe they once dismissed you, underestimated you, or thought you'd never bounce back. But now, everything about you radiates quiet power, and it's undeniable. You've become the proof that healing is possible, that growth is real, and that you can rise from any fall with grace and clarity. That's why they can't look away. Your transformation is triggering theirs. So, if things start to feel strangely emotional, if you sense someone reaching out without speaking, you're not imagining it. The emotional pressure they feel is building to a point where it's going to break through. Whether it's a message, a call, or a sudden moment where paths cross, you'll know. The moment will be charged, undeniable, and deeply personal. And it's coming soon. You've probably noticed it already. Virgo. The strange signals, the sudden waves of emotion that seem to come out of nowhere. A song on the radio that hits you a little too hard. A name you keep seeing. Dreams that feel more like memories than imagination. This isn't random. These are signals, subtle ones, that the energy around you is shifting. Something is aligning behind the scenes. And whether you're fully conscious of it or not, your spirit is picking it up loud and clear. It's like the universe is laying breadcrumbs, quietly guiding you toward a moment that hasn't arrived yet, but it's close. These signs aren't coincidences. They're intentional markers along your path. Think about it. How many times lately have you felt a heaviness in the air for no reason, or had a gut feeling something big was coming? That's not anxiety. That's intuition. That's your inner system syncing with what's approaching. And when you pause and really tune in, it becomes clear the energy isn't just swirling randomly, it's circling you, preparing you, alerting you. Because what's coming will require your full presence. You're being nudged into awareness. Every repeated number, every moment of deja vu, every time someone's name pops into your mind out of nowhere, these are clues. You've spent so much of your life in your head, Virgo, analyzing, processing, rationalizing, but this part of your journey is asking you to feel, to trust, to let your body and your energy field speak as loudly as your mind. The universe doesn't need you to figure this one out. It just needs you to notice. And when you do, you'll realize this energy isn't threatening, it's activating. Because underneath the uncertainty, there's this quiet current of excitement, like standing at the edge of something big. You can't see it yet, but your whole being knows it's already in motion, and it's coming straight for you. You might even start noticing people from your past reaching out, or crossing paths with someone you haven't thought about in years. That's not a mistake either. Energy attracts energy. When your frequency shifts, it pulls in echoes from the past and signals from the future. And you, Virgo, are in the middle of that shift right now. So don't dismiss the signs. Don't rationalize them away like you usually do. Sit with them, feel them, ask what they're trying to tell you. Because once you start listening, really listening, you'll hear the message loud and clear. Something's approaching, something you've quietly prepared for without even knowing. And now, the signs are just confirming what your soul already suspects. The energy around you, Virgo, isn't just shifting, it's tightening. It's forming a kind of emotional gravity, pulling people, thoughts, and situations into your orbit. And one of the things being drawn closer is a connection, a presence, someone you may have felt before you even met. This isn't about chemistry or physical attraction, it's something deeper, resonance. Like your soul recognizes theirs before your mind can make sense of it. You've probably already felt this person energetically. Maybe you think about them randomly. Maybe you dream of someone whose face never quite appears. Maybe you've crossed paths in real life without even realizing what it meant. But now, this energy is starting to solidify. That foggy recognition is becoming clearer, more focused, and it's not just you picking up on it. They feel it too. The pull, the curiosity, the undeniable sense that something unfinished is about to return. This connection feels both new and ancient at the same time. It stirs something in you that doesn't come from logic. It comes from memory, soul memory, as if the two of you agreed to find each other again in this lifetime, after many cycles apart. And now the universe is making sure that contract is fulfilled. They don't just notice you, Virgo. They see you. They see beyond your routines and your to-do lists. They sense the mind constantly running in the background and the heart that's careful who it opens to. And instead of being intimidated by your depth, they're drawn to it because they've been waiting to be seen too. This connection is waking something up inside you. A knowing. A sense that your life is about to take a turn, not because someone is coming to save you, but because someone is coming to meet you where you already are, on your level, in your frequency, with a mirror that reflects not just who you are, but who you're becoming. You don't have to chase this. You don't have to earn it. It's already in motion. All you have to do is stay open, and when the moment arrives, and it will, you'll feel it in your body, in your breath, like two magnets finally closing the space between them. Think about how rare that is, to be met without masks, to be seen without filters. This isn't a fantasy or a fairy tale. It's a real energetic exchange that happens when both people have done the inner work, when both are finally ready. And that's the difference this time. Virgo, you're not meeting from a place of lack. You're meeting from alignment. So if you've felt your heart stir in quiet moments, or a softness return where there was once only caution, honor that it means you're shifting, and they are too. Let's talk about impact, Virgo, because whether you've realized it or not, your presence has been quietly changing the atmosphere around you. You don't need to make loud entrances or dramatic declarations. Just by being consistent, thoughtful, and deeply aware, you've created ripples in the lives of others, especially this person who's been watching from a distance. Your stability has shaken them. Your grace under pressure has stirred something in them they can't ignore anymore. What's powerful here is that you weren't trying to be impressive. You were just being real. You were surviving, healing, rebuilding, and in doing so, you showed a kind of strength that's rare, the kind that doesn't beg to be seen, but can't be unseen once someone's witnessed it. This quiet influence, it's what's been pulling them in. Not your words, not your plans, your essence, your energy. That kind of resonance doesn't fade. It lingers, and lately, they've been feeling it more than ever. Every time you come to mind, it's not fleeting, it stays. It grows, it echoes, and that's why the universe is pressing them, pushing them closer, making the silence too loud to sit in. This pressure isn't accidental, it's purposeful, because your story and theirs are now intersecting again, and the emotional charge is becoming undeniable. Your ability to keep moving forward when it felt like the ground was falling out from beneath you, that didn't go unnoticed. And now, it's inspired them to confront their own shadows. They're reflecting, remembering, and finally realizing that what you offered, your presence, your kindness, your clarity, was something rare. And maybe, just maybe, they weren't ready for it then. But they're being prepared for it now. So if you felt this strange momentum lately, like everything's speeding up emotionally, trust that feeling, because it is. The connection between you two isn't just reactivating, it's evolving. This time, with more awareness, more honesty, more purpose, And the impact you've made, it's only just beginning to be understood. By them and even by you. And maybe you don't see yourself as powerful. Maybe you've spent years doubting your worth because it didn't look like what the world called successful. But emotional influence, that's a superpower. To shift someone's entire worldview just by standing in your truth, that's not small. That's legacy work. So let this be a reminder. Virgo, you didn't just survive, you transformed. And now, someone else is waking up to the fact that your presence has always meant something deep. This is your energetic fingerprint, leaving marks in places you never even meant to touch. There's something they haven't told you, Virgo. And it's not just a small detail, it's something that shifts the whole story. The version of events you've been holding on to, the one that helped you make sense of the silence, the distance, the confusion. It's incomplete. There's more, and it's coming to the surface now. Whether they're ready or not, this person has been holding something in, maybe out of fear, maybe out of guilt, maybe because they didn't think you were ready to hear it. But the truth is, they weren't ready to say it. And now, the energy has shifted to the point where the truth can't be contained. What was once buried is rising. Fast. The pressure inside them is building like a dam about to burst. And what's been hidden is about to become impossible to ignore. You may sense it already. The sudden pull in your chest. The feeling like someone's on the verge of saying something important. That's not your imagination. That's resonance. That's your intuition picking up on a truth that's been circling you like a hawk, waiting for the right moment to land. This doesn't mean everything they say will be easy to hear. Sometimes the truth is wrapped in past pain, or colored by choices made from a place of fear. But it's necessary. It's healing. And more importantly, it's clarifying. Because you deserve to know the full picture, not just the parts that were convenient or safe to share. You deserve transparency. And this moment, that veil lifting, isn't just about them coming clean. It's about you reclaiming your narrative. You've spent so long trying to piece together a story from fragments, making peace with unanswered questions. But that ends now. You're about to get the missing chapters. And what you do with that knowledge, that's where your power kicks in. You don't need to respond with anger or judgment. You've evolved past that, but you do need to receive the truth with your eyes wide open. Because even if it hurts, it's still a gift. It's the final piece of clarity that sets everything in motion. And Virgo, you've earned the right to finally see the full picture and decide how the next chapter unfolds. And that choice, that agency, is what turns this from a story about waiting into a story about awakening. This is your moment to step into emotional leadership, to show yourself and the universe that even when truths arrive late, you are wise enough to receive them, grounded enough to process them, and strong enough to rise above them. Let it come, let it clear the fog, and then stand in your clarity. Let truth be the fire that forges your next move. There's a moment coming, Virgo, a breaking point, the kind of moment that doesn't ask permission. It just shows up and changes everything. You may not know exactly when, but you can feel it. The energy has been building like a low hum in the background of your life. And now, it's about to reach full volume. This isn't going to be a slow unraveling. This is the snap, the crack. The moment the truth bursts through the walls it's been trapped behind. This can look like anything: a confession, a surprise encounter, a message out of nowhere, something that brings clarity and weight all at once. It might knock the wind out of you for a second, not because you weren't strong enough, but because you've been carrying this uncertainty for so long, and finally, the waiting ends. This explosion isn't chaos. It's alignment. The release of pressure that's been silently mounting between you and this person, this truth, this chapter, it had to come to a head. And now, it will. And when it does, there will be no mistaking it. No wondering what it meant. It'll be clear, loud, direct. And most of all, it will feel like something that was always meant to happen. What's important is how you receive it. Because this is where your power shows up, not in controlling the moment, but in how you choose to meet it. Will you react, or will you respond? Will you freeze, or will you lean in with presence? This is a test of embodiment, of grounding, and you, Virgo, have been prepared for this far longer than you think. Every small decision to stay true to yourself, every time you chose honesty over ease, every time you walked away from what no longer fit those moments shaped you for this. For clarity, for breakthrough, for truth that doesn't shake you, but liberates you. So when the moment comes, let it come. Let it say what it needs to say. And know that no matter how intense it feels, it's not here to destroy. It's here to free you, to clear the static, to give you the answers you've been silently asking for, and more importantly, to give you the permission to move forward. For real, this time, this shift will be unforgettable. And as the energy moves, you'll realize it was never about the other person's timing, it was about your soul's readiness. You were never waiting on them. You were waiting on the version of you that was strong enough to receive the truth without shrinking. And now, you're here, not just watching your story unfold, but owning it. Now let's talk about your greatest asset, Virgo, your mind, that brilliant analytical engine that never stops processing. It notices the tiny shifts in tone, the pattern in someone's inconsistencies, the gap between what they say and what they do. And while the world often labels that as overthinking, in this moment, it's your gift. Because the truth that's coming, the energy that's unfolding, it's complex, it's layered, and you, more than anyone, are equipped to read between the lines. This isn't the time to second-guess your instincts. You've spent your life double-checking yourself, worried you were being too harsh, too sensitive, too suspicious. But that doubt, it's not yours anymore. What you're picking up on is real. The subtle tension, the emotional signals, the way things don't quite add up. You're not imagining it, you're decoding it. Think of your mind like a filter that catches what others miss. It pulls in facts, energy, and emotion, then organizes it into something useful. And right now, it's tuning into something massive. Don't ignore that. Trust your thoughts. Trust the way your body reacts when something feels off. That flutter in your chest, that knot in your gut, that sudden shift in energy when someone walks into the room. Those are signals, data points, clues. And here's the twist: you don't need to confront anyone to use this power. You don't need to expose or demand anything. Sometimes, your discernment is the closure. Just knowing the truth is enough. Quiet knowing. That's where your strength lives. That's where your peace comes from. Your ability to stay calm under pressure, to think clearly when others spiral, is going to be key in the days ahead. Because while emotions might flare, while truths might shake the surface, you'll remain centered. You'll navigate with precision. That's your gift, Virgo. The ability to hold emotional truth and intellectual clarity in the same hand. So when the puzzle pieces start falling into place, and they will, don't run from what you see. Sit with it. Name it. And then move forward from a place of deep, unapologetic understanding. You don't just survive the storm, you read it like a map. And that's how you win. You've trained for this your entire life without realizing it. Every conversation you replayed in your head, every time you journaled until 3 a.m., trying to make sense of something, Every time you questioned the surface to find the deeper root that was preparation. That was sharpening the very tool that's going to guide you now. You're not just intuitive, you're investigative. And when you trust that part of yourself, there's almost nothing you can't figure out. This connection you're experiencing, Virgo, it's not random. It's not a coincidence or a passing emotional wave. It's part of your destiny. And more than that, it's a reflection of the growth you've done in silence, the healing you chose even when no one clapped for you. This bond forming now, it's both a catalyst and a reward. It's going to shift everything. You're not meeting this person to repeat old patterns. You're meeting them to break them, to create something new. Something rooted not in fear or trauma, but in recognition and readiness. Because this connection carries a different frequency. It feels aligned, familiar, even safe. Not because it lacks intensity, but because it holds truth. And truth always feels like home to someone like you. And what's so powerful about this is that it's arriving at the exact moment you're strong enough to handle it with clarity. In the past, you might have sabotaged a connection this deep, questioned it, overanalyzed it, tried to fix it before it even had a chance to become real. But now you're present. You're still. You're ready. This connection, Virgo, is here to anchor you, not distract you. It's meant to complement the life you've built, not rescue you from it. That's how you'll know it's real. It'll feel like a partnership, not a project, like balance, not chaos. And that feeling, that calm recognition, that's the universe's way of confirming that you're finally on the right frequency to receive what matches your worth. This person may not come in with fireworks or grand declarations. They might enter quietly, respectfully, gently. But their presence will feel like medicine, like something you didn't know you needed until it arrived. And once it's here, you won't have to chase it. You'll just have to allow it. And in doing so, you'll realize something important. You never needed to be louder to be loved. You never needed to prove your value to be chosen. You just needed someone who spoke your language, who saw you clearly, deeply, and showed up with a steady heart and open hands. This is the chapter where love stops being a lesson and starts becoming a truth. Let it unfold, let it land, and most of all, let yourself receive it. Because receiving can be the hardest thing of all. Can't it, especially for someone like you who's been in survival mode for so long? But not everything that arrives with grace is too good to be true. Some things are simply good and true and meant. You don't have to resist what's aligned. You just have to be present enough to say yes when it arrives. And now, Virgo, we arrive at the moment everything turns, the point where pressure meets purpose. This is the climax, the breakthrough, the event you felt coming in your bones. It might look ordinary on the outside, a conversation, an email, a chance encounter. But when it hits, you'll know. It's the feeling of something snapping into place, the sound of the final lock turning. The truth that's been circling is about to land, and when it does, it won't ask for permission. It'll just show up, undeniable. It might shake your emotions, it might leave you breathless, but it will also deliver the clarity you've been craving for years. This is what all the tension was leading up to. This is why the energy's been strange. It was never chaos, it was calibration. And here's the beauty of it. Virgo, you won't collapse under the weight of this moment. You'll rise into it, because this is your becoming. You're not the same version of you who got hurt before. You're wiser now, stronger, softer in the right places, sharper in the ones that needed protecting. You've learned how to hold space for your truth and still stay open to love. And as the dust settles, you'll feel something unfamiliar but deeply comforting peace. Not the fake kind that comes from avoidance, but the kind that comes from finally seeing things clearly. You'll realize you don't have to fight to be seen anymore. You've been seen. You don't have to chase closure. You've outgrown the need for it. This clarity won't just stay in your mind. It'll ripple out into your decisions, your boundaries, your energy. You'll stop over-explaining, stop shrinking, stop second-guessing your worth. Because once truth arrives, it reshapes the entire room. It lights up every shadow and invites you to step forward without apology. And you will. This is your season of full embodiment, of becoming the version of you that doesn't need to be rescued or validated or softened to be accepted. You are the storm and the stillness, the insight and the instinct. And moving forward, you'll carry that truth like armor, quiet, steady, unshakable. So take a deep breath. Virgo, you're not preparing anymore. You're arriving. And the version of you that's arriving now, that's the one the world has been waiting for. You've earned this moment, not through perfection, but through presence. You stayed when it was hard. You listened when it was quiet. You grew when no one was watching. That's the kind of strength no one can fake. And now, everything you did in the dark is about to bloom in the light. This isn't just the end of a chapter. It's the beginning of a reality that finally fits. A reality where you're not just surviving the story, you're writing it. So now, Virgo, here's your invitation. Not just to reflect, but to respond. If you felt every word of this in your chest, in your memory, in your gut, that's not a coincidence. That's resonance. That means this message was meant for you. You're standing at the threshold of something big, something real, and what you choose to do next will shape the direction of this transformation. So pause, breathe, and ask yourself, with honesty, am I ready to stop replaying the past and start living the next chapter? If your answer is yes, even if it's a scared, trembling yes, I want you to write one phrase in the comments, I claim this shift. Because writing it isn't just for the algorithm. It's for you. It's your declaration. Your energetic contract with the universe saying, I'm ready. I'm done hiding. I'm done waiting. And I'm open to the truth, even if it shakes me. Especially if it frees me. And if this reading spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Send it to someone who's been stuck in silence too long. Let's build a space where Virgos don't have to explain their depth, just be witnessed in it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like if you felt something real. And know this, your story isn't over. It's just starting to get good. And if you're still here, still listening, then trust this, you're not alone in this transition. There are others waking up just like you, finding their voice, trusting their intuition, rewriting their truth. This is a movement, and you're part of it. Say yes. Say it out loud. Say it with your actions. And most of all, keep showing up as you.